Let's check in Republican strategist, host of the Stone Zone, author of the book, The Clintons' War on Women, our pal, Roger Stone, back on the program. Hello, Raj. How are you?
Excellent, Dan. You make a very good point, which is I covered all of these points that you just discussed in my 2015 book, the longest chapter of the book, Orgy Island, the name that I ripped from Sean Hannity. I read all of the pleadings of the various victims of Jeffrey Epstein, including Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Many of Epstein's victims settled for millions of dollars. She decided to continue to fight on. Of course, they told us only weeks ago that she very strangely committed suicide, which is interesting because she left an audio tape saying, folks, if you hear that I committed suicide, I'm not suicidal. But I think the key point here, Dan, is that Donald Trump cut Jeffrey Epstein off in 2005.
Thank you.
That was prior to his being exposed as a pedophile and prior to his being charged in Florida. Recently, the Justice Department moved to have those Florida grand jury testimonies unsealed. And a Democrat judge, Amy Rose, I'm not sure, Vandenberg, I believe it is, Rosenberg, pardon me. Amy Rose Rosenberg ruled against that. I predict to you that these judges in New York, both of whom are Democrats, will also refuse to release the grand jury testimony. Now, generally speaking, grand jury testimony is very rarely unsealed, but this is a particular case because the individual is deceased. So there is no public interest in keeping it
Great point.
quiet. The Democrats, this is really kind of a head fake. Dick Durbin from Illinois sponsors legislation to block the release of the Epstein files only 2 years ago. Now he's jumping up and down saying it must be unsealed. I have no fear about it being unsealed because I know, based on my own 2015 research, that Donald Trump has no culpability, that Virginia Giuffre said in her sworn testimony that the only time she saw Trump at Epstein's Palm Beach home, it was at a charitable fundraiser with 100 people, and that there was no inappropriate conduct by Donald Trump.
This has all been documented. I don't know why folks are starting to turn on him on our side, Raj. I do that in air quotes because if you're turning on Trump now and you act like you've been MAGA because you're not getting all the files right now and you don't understand how this works, well, then you were just a grifter and a POS, in my opinion. The man has been vindicated by tons of stuff. You just pointed out he threw Jeffrey's butt out in 2005. He didn't even stand trial, which he never stood trial because a U.S. attorney walked in under George W. Bush in 2007, and all of a sudden, Jeffrey was on house arrest with an ankle bracelet and didn't go to prison for years like he should have. Now, who was bought and paid for then? Who got him out of trouble in 2007, Raj? Because I've seen the documentary. Those detectives in Palm Beach had him dead to rights. He should have been in prison in 2007. Somebody got him off of it.
The police chief in Palm Beach turned over to the state's attorney a case involving 33 underage girls, a child sex trafficking case, also a different case involving 28 underage girls in a case of statutory rape. It was Bush Attorney General Alberto Gonzales who said we needed to seal this because, quote, we don't want the political mess. Now, what does that mean? Epstein was not a public official. He was not in the government. Other than giving millions of dollars to the Clintons, he wasn't in politics. Here's an interesting fact, though, and that is between the time that Epstein was charged and the time that he accepted a guilty plea, the Clintons took a $25,000 contribution from him after he had been charged.
Whoa. Well, like I said, I'm not worried about any of this coming out. Let's get it all out there. Again, don't damage the victims any more than they've already been damaged by exposing them. But these judges need to release it. I don't think Trump's hiding it all. He just said what he said over the past few weeks because he's sick and tired of hearing about it when he's done 100 other amazing things that the press won't talk about. Raj, I'm out of time, but as always, thank you for coming on and setting the record straight. Appreciate you.
And great to be with you, and God bless you.
God bless you.